if I really want to get this right, I need to go deeper. I didn't even have any idea at all.
I'm currently standing right inside of the brand new store of one of our earliest bumper merchants.
How are you doing now?
I'm just there, Jerry.
Sheofumi. She's the founder of Wawo Hub.
So 4 years ago, I was in your store. I can't even remember where it was.
Oshodi.
Her story over the past 6 years is nothing short of remarkable.
I don't even know where to start from, to be honest.
From starting out in a small shop
It was one small space.
to facing a tragic personal loss that almost brought everything to a stop,
I lost my husband. Everything just went down.
to taking massive leaps like flying to China to solve our product quality issues.
What was important to me at that point was answers I needed.
We talked about all of this in this conversation.
Instagram is easy. TikTok, I can't deal with the drama.
We broke down how she actually made those key business decisions,
I just made up my mind that, okay, you know what? I can't actually afford to bring in all these things for you. So that was when I turned it into pre-order.
how she listens to our market,
It's not just about selling for me. It's also about understanding the market.
and how Bumper has been running alongside her every step of the way.
Bumper is one of the best things that has happened to my business, to be honest.
If you're a business owner who is serious about growing your business,
Do you know how many indirect jobs you create? Because
navigating through tough times, or scaling up,
Make life easy now. Which one is all the stress, Sam?
you really need to stick around and watch this whole interview.
selling online or physical.
Unlike people have money.
It's great to be in your new space.
I'm glad to have
You know-
you guys around. So
I've been to your space before.
yes.
2022, 2023,
Yeah.
2022. So 4 years ago,
Yeah.
I was in your store. I can't even remember where it was.
Oshodi.
Oshodi.
Yes.
And it was one small space.
Small shop.
one small shop. Did you have a staff then?
Nope.
It was just you.
Me, myself,
I think it
and
was
I.
opposite to your house.
Yes. My house, my shop.
Seeing where you are now.
Mhm. Fourth
know.
store.
This is your
In
fourth
6
store.
years.
Was that the first one?
Yes, that was the first one.
And now this is the fourth one in over the past few years.
Yeah.
What has the journey been for you? How's the journey been for you?
I don't even know where to start from, to be honest. It's been amazing, challenging, emotional, and amazing all put together because, you know, when I started off at Oshodi, you know, just in a small shop and with big dreams, of course, like, okay, planning to own my own big hub and all of that.
I want to just go through the journey, you
Okay.
know, from the beginning.
First and foremost, I'm a very independent person. You know, when you lose your father at a very young age and you are left with no choice but to fend for yourself and just figure out life, right? So there was no family, there was nobody. Like, there were families, but everybody had their struggles,
They had
right?
their own
So I
thing.
just had to figure it out. And while I was in school, I did so many trades. Like, I sewed jewelries, I did makeup, you know, I did so many hustle just to
What
put.
did you study?
I studied food science technology.
Did you immediately go from school to starting your own business?
No, I worked with few companies before I started
Okay,
my business
okay.
as well. I worked as a customer relationship officer first, and then somehow my boss saw that I had this accounting knowledge, and then he decided to put me in the accounting department. So
Accounting.
I don't know how. I was never at my seat while at my job. I was always moving from one department to the other, trying to understand, you know, what the organization does. It's a logistics company, actually. So they bring in machines from Germany and they do clearing and forwarding and all of that. You know, I was always asking questions like, how do you do this? How do you get this done? And when they are short staffed, I try to fill in departments too. So I guess that was where my boss saw that, okay, this girl is not just here for this, you know, job. She could be useful in other departments. So I think one of the account officers resigned, and my boss just called me and like, do you think you can work in the accounting department? I immediately said no, because I'm like, I don't even have basic knowledge of accounting. And he said, you can learn on the job. Like, I said, okay, I could give it a try. And I like challenges, of course. So that was how I started. And the company sent me on a training for like a week. And that was it. So I was just learning on the job.
You had an inquisitive mind.
Yes.
You were sort of like a generalist. You wanted to learn
Yeah.
from, you know, everyone.
Yes.
What was that experience like? You did the training for 1 week.
Yeah, I did.
know,
I did the
and then-
training for 1 week with, I think, Nigerian, German, accounting, something like that on the island.
Yeah.
And then when I came back to the office, I was understudying my immediate boss in the accounting department. She was a very lovely person. You know, she taught me the basics, how to understand what the debit and credit looks like, the P&L account, balance sheets, how to create invoices, and all of that, you know. And it was an amazing experience for me because, trust me, it is one of the things that I'm using to build my brand today as well. So,
How long did you do that for?
like 2 years.
2 years
Yes.
as an accountant.
Yes.
So was it after that you started your business?
Yes, I started my business while
While
at my
you-
job because, of course, one of these days I was just surfing Instagram and all, and I saw, you know, we're already in the logistics company. That's where I work. So I was already trying to understand how they bring things from another country down to Nigeria. So that very day, I was just surfing the net and I saw like people advertising how to import from China. So I was like, is this really possible? Like, I'll just send money to somebody and then
They'll
I'll
give
have
you
this
products
item.
back.
Like, is it possible without having to meet them?
Yeah.
So I was inquisitive, like, I want to understand how this thing works. So I paid for the training that day. And then, you know, I went through the training. I was like, okay, let me take the risk. So I bought few items and I was waiting patiently with fasting and prayer. So that's my money would not go down the drain, you know. And then the goods came. I got a pickup message from the company that my goods has arrived, and
You know, I want to commend you because it just feels like you've put yourself constantly in a place that forces you to learn.
Yeah.
And, you know, almost any opportunity you have, you would you would grab it,
yeah,
you know, to learn
yeah.
and to also take on opportunities. How did you decide what to bring? I think a lot of people, a lot of business
Yeah.
owners are in that place where they are trying to figure out, you know, what do I even bring in first?
Yeah.
Now, how did you make that decision?
Okay, so I think every starter are always clueless at that point because the first thing is you just want to try different things. I started out trying personal items like, okay, I saw this bag, I liked it, I bought it. So when I got it, the first thing I did was I posted my experience online. Like, okay, I got this handbag for this price. And, you know, I started having friends like, oh, this is nice. Can you help me get it? So immediately, fashion was it. So I just started bringing in fashion items.
And
So-
it was based off of the things that you liked.
Yes, based on the
So-
things I liked. So as I was posting the things that I was buying for people, I had people ask, oh, can you help me get this for my daughter? Can you help me get this for my son? I need this kitchen item and all. So I was like, okay.
So you went from fashion to
I went
what?
to kiddies items. I saw toys, I saw kitchen outfits.
Wow.
When the demand was just getting, you know, everywhere, like different things. So I just made up my mind that, okay, you know what? I can't actually afford to bring in all these things for you. So that was when I turned it into pre-order. So I created a group then on Telegram and I'm like, okay, I'll source for beautiful things from household to wares to fashion, anything you can think of. And then I'll post it in that group. Anything you see you like, send me your list.
That's
So
the first pivot.
That was
Because
that was the first.
You basically went from bringing the things that you like
Yes.
and, you know, getting requests from people based off of those things.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to put all of you in a group
Group. Yes.
and then I'm going to help you source for the items and then bring it.
Exactly.
Basically
Yeah.
going into the pre-order.
Yes. Along the line, I lost my husband and it felt like everything just went down. I was clueless for like about a year. I didn't know how to start again. You know what the loss of a partner
Yeah.
does, you know, I had to move locations, I had to change school for the kids. It was just a lot. So the only option for me was to move down here to Ikorodu because my mom stays here. I lost my dad, you know, a few years back. So I had to come to Ikorodu. And then when I got here, I was like, okay, of course, I can't just sit down crying. I have to start all over again. And then I got another shop here in Ikorodu where I tried to start back. I was thinking to myself, why not get something that you'll be known for? They talk
Your
about
own
this
niche.
product, this is who sells it. But at the time, everybody was doing fashion, everybody was... And, I was just like, fashion for me was capital intensive. I have to do with sizes, colors, and all of that. And sometimes what you like is not what other people like. So I kept thinking about it. And at the time, I had a sister that was staying with me that sells perfume oils.
Okay.
So most times she will call me, sis, please help me take pictures of this perfume oils, and so that she can post it. So then I had few backdrops then that I use in taking pictures of those stuffs I buy from China. So I used it to snap those oils for her. And then as she was posting those pictures, some of our customers were asking her, how did you snap this picture? Where did you get this backdrop from? She would just tell them, it's my sister. So they would be like, can your sister take these pictures for me? So after, a while, she asked me like, sis, why not be selling these props and stuff? Since people are asking for it. And I studied the market then, I realized that a lot of people were always lifting pictures off the internet and post. And then when they deliver, there's always what I ordered versus what I got. So I felt like, okay, this is not a bad idea. We can actually introduce it to lightings and backgrounds where you can take pictures of your product and people will actually see the real life thing, not something you lifted off the internet. So that was how I started the props aspect of my business then, and after I did that for like a year, those customers that purchased these props would also ask me, do you have this packaging material for this product? And that was how the packaging aspect started. So it was more like everyone was looking for a one-stop store where they could get backgrounds to take the products and then a packaging to put in their products for delivery. So that was literally how I started.
One of the things that is very remarkable about the journey that you've been through is you've always taken the first leap, right? Taking opportunities, but also you did not have to figure everything out from the beginning. And I think a lot of people struggle with that because they think that they have to have everything figured out. But it's like taking the first step and then more things open up.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to have the listening ears to be able to see that opportunity because, not everybody would try to know that there's an opportunity in that place, You were bringing in a lot of items.
Yes.
It was easier for you to just say, fashion, since I was already bringing in fashion, or toys, because you already sold toys, It's like, I'm noticing that when a lot of these merchants are, buying things, they still needed the backdrop.
Yeah.
They needed good backdrop. And you basically wanted to even solve a problem of the fact that many people were just lifting up pictures from the internet.
Yeah.
Knowing that, okay, now with you, they can now start having their own original photos looking as good as even the things that are online.
Yeah.
So and I think that that's perfect. Well, you also went from that, the props, to the packaging materials.
Yes.
And that's because, well, if you're going to buy the product, then you might as well have the packaging materials.
Yeah.
Do you still sell props?
Not anymore, though we have few of them still available in stock, but we don't restock them as much as we did before. Because we noticed that has been faced off. Yeah.
You're listening to the market, and the market, basically more people are not doing that. So
now it's not about the pictures anymore. It's about how you can convince the customer to buy. That's the reels and all of that. People want to see
the product.
Not just give me the picture, but hold it. They want to see how it actually looks, the feel and all of that. So, not everybody has the patience to start setting up backgrounds and not take pictures anymore.
Was there anything that, because this part is actually very difficult for a lot of people to figure out. Everybody says you want to listen to the market, but it's not straightforward. What does it mean to listen to the market? Is it doing what any customer tells you, or there's something that you're seeing?
So it's not just about selling for me. It's also about understanding the market. Since it went from not taking pictures anymore to the real life thing, and I saw that fast enough, so I started dwelling more on the packaging aspect because that was moving really fast. Because I noticed along the line that a lot of people just picked up whatever nylon. Sometimes they even send it in the same nylon it comes. They didn't have any reason to want to do an extra packaging or anything. So I noticed that, and we went from even selling from plain to branding because a lot of people didn't even understand the importance of the fact that people have to see and view the package and this is from this brand. Do you understand? So when I saw all of that, I just feel like, okay, I think it's time to really upskill. And
What do you
invest
think
better.
business owners need to know about packaging?
Packaging is everything, trust me, if you ask me, because that's the first contact of, you know, your product. They don't get to see your product, they get to see the packaging first before they get to see your product. And that already tells us what kind of brand that you have. If I receive something that looks tacky, that has already turned me off. Even if your product is good, the fact that your packaging is tacky, I already have an impression like, how are we sure what is in it is original? Do you understand? So that's why it is important to take your packaging very seriously, because it tells your story, it tells us the kind of product that you even have in, even if it is trash at the end of the day, you know, but the fact that it comes in a nice packaging, it already tells us, oh, this is what to expect.
You know, the funny thing is that I think that everybody actually knows what packaging is. They know, because sometimes we package.
Yes,
you may not have money in your pocket, but you
know,
package because you know that it tells the story.
Yeah.
That's why people say, oh, the first impression matters a lot.
Yeah, true.
What is that? The first impression is the packaged impression, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if you're able to package it well, then as you said, it tells even the story before you even get in there. There's a deal that I wanted to close in the previous company where I worked, and it was very important, the car I came in. Interestingly, to be honest, I'm thankful I don't have to do all of this kind of shenanigans anymore. But at that time, those are the kind of things that, because I was shooting above my weight, I was engaging a lot of big corporates, right? Before you come in, they wanted you to see, you know, are you at the back seat or at the front seat? You know, and that actually mattered, right? The way they would now treat you and take, because if you entered and you are sweating, if they ask for, oh, please, I want to see Mr. Jide, they say he's not around. But the way you come in, you'll be like, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
They'll offer you tea. Immediately I enter some place, they don't offer me. I say, I don't fuck off. I remember the time your husband died. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much.
I cannot say I fully understand grief, but as you know, I lost my co-founder.
So I was gonna say, I'm sure you do.
and you know, it is just extremely tough, especially, you know, when you're running a business, and the problem is that you have to still think about the business.
Yeah.
Right? Because the business is an entity on its own. It's like it needs to still run. Staff may need to still be paid salary. The goods that is coming will still have to come in, you know. But then you're dealing with a lot of emotional, you know, grief and trauma. You know, how did you handle it?
If I'm to answer that question, to be honest, I don't know how. That's the honest truth. But I'll say that I'm grateful for the gift of people around me, because it came as a shock. Of course, nobody has that thought that, you know, somebody's gonna die soon, right? But I wasn't prepared for it. It came as a shock. The thought of, how do I start from here? How do I raise these kids alone? How do I... Two kids. Yes, a boy and a girl. How do I just do life? Because, you know, a spouse is supposed to be like a support system, right? Someone you could discuss your plans and everything. So now everything is just on you. So it was really overwhelming for me. And the first place I could think of going to was back to my mom, because I don't have a dad as well. So I just had to come back home. At least they always say there's love at home,
love at home.
So we came back home, and, you know, it wasn't easy at all. I had to care for the kids. I had to be sane. I had to also be there for my mom as well. And I had to run my business. So it was a lot of roller coaster for me, but grateful for the gift of people. I had friends. I had few family that were, you know, present, and
shout out to your mom. Shout out to your mom. She's a rock star. She's a rock star.
Yeah,
I think that
she was of great help for me, because, you know, sometimes I'm out trying to figure out something. She's at the store for me, helping me pack, you know, and taking care of the kids as well. So,
the kids are there.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say I really understand all of these things that you would have to have gone through, you know, trying to take care of the kids, because, you know, one of the big things that people don't think about is the number of decisions that, you know, you have to make. right? And everything it feels like the weight is on just you. You're making decisions on, you mentioned that you had to change schools.
Yeah.
You're thinking about you had to move. Your business is still, and that's, you had someone that you could talk to and make decisions together. Immediately, you don't have that anymore, right? And you still feel like you have to make the best decision, because the truth is that every outcome is just based off of the decisions that we make over time. The decisions that we're making on a day-to-day basis determines the outcome, right? And you still had to make all the decisions, and we're grateful that you're here today. And I'm sure your husband would have been proud of you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the kids, as they continue to understand more, they will be proud of their mom because you did it. And I'm sure your mom is also proud of you.
Yeah.
So there's this part that I'm interested in understanding. You decided to go to China. Why?
I realized that packaging materials are usually bulky, so they are not advisable to ship them by air. So I have to ship them by sea, right? So at first, I didn't know anyone here in Nigeria that sells packaging materials. So the only option I had was to import them. So, but I had a struggle with the timeline. That's the arrival timeline, because sea shipping takes about 60 days. So, and that was me tying down the little capital that I had. And, and somehow I felt like the way I was purchasing those products were quite pricey for me. So I started digging deep. Then I was comparing prices with other vendors that I started seeing after I sourced for it. So I noticed that their prices were a bit lesser than what I was getting. So that prompted me to okay, is it possible that they are getting it cheaper elsewhere? Or maybe I'm not doing my sourcing right. That was one. Then the second thing was I had some issues with some quality. Of course, I was ordering blindly online. I wasn't seeing it, but I was just trusting based off, reviews and product descriptions I was seeing. So I thought to myself that, okay, if I really want to get this right, I need to go deeper into the source. But I didn't know how, and I didn't even have any idea at all. But along the line, a friend of mine that I had spoken to for a long time just reached out to me. She shared a new store and the new car she got, and then her passport stamped with China visa. She just shared it to me like, babe, see what I've achieved so far. I screamed and I was like, oh, I'm so happy for you. And she was like, I owe you all to you, because I actually came through for her at a point where she was really struggling, and it wasn't a big deal really, but for the fact that she came back to share it with me was, it meant everything to me. So she was like, babe, you two can go to China. I was like, really? I said, China is like very far away. I don't know how to go about it. So she could guide me through it and all. And that was it. So I applied and I got the visa, and it was time to go. And I'm like, am I really ready for this journey? It wasn't like I had a lot of money, but what was important to me at that point was the answers I needed to my questions. So it wasn't about going to show off or going to be the first to load a container or what. I wasn't even looking at all of that. All I needed were answers to my questions, like, how do I find a good quality? How do I get this product cheaper so that my prices would be reasonable in the market? So that was how the whole thing happened.
I know that some people were out there feeling like, you know what, maybe they need to just go to China. I don't think that that's like the story here.
Nope.
Right? Because if you listen to your journey, it has been more of, taking certain steps. And, you did not go to China just because, not because everybody was going to China, but
Not
because
at
you
all.
wanted to answer specific questions. So people don't have the demand to carry, going to China. Do you want to tell them how much it costs? Because,
You don't want to know.
Some people that have gone to China, their business is not surviving. So
Not at all.
I want, I'm the kind of person that thinks about, you have to do the best things for your business. Right? So you have to make the best decision. If it's going to China, if it's trying to figure out better sources, or partnering with someone that is already going to China, if you can, there are things that you can do that would help your business without necessarily just thinking first that, okay, maybe you want to copy their business. I like the fact that, in every decision that you've made, you've actually tried to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
And not necessarily just copy what the next person was
Not
doing.
at all.
And I think that makes the journey, worth it, at the end. What was it like, post-China?
Yeah. Post-China was clarity for me. Because after I came back from China, or while at China, in fact, I had so many clarity. Like, I realized that I wasn't even doing business the way I was. I got to find out cheaper suppliers. I was able to even produce the quality that I wanted, that I never even imagined could be possible, because I felt, you just have to tell them what you want and they give you what they have. I didn't know it was possible for me to actually run productions, and that was the highlight for me, because a particular product from China has different qualities.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to figure out which one works for you and it's acceptable by your customers. So that really changed my business. Like, it changed everything.
So, quick one. You went to China and you came back with just delivery, with your packaging item.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that if you enter China, you must bring in more products than you started with. That is not possible to have a niche once you are going to China.
Well,
how come you still stop with your niche?
This is me saying here that it's all about the focus and the mindset, really. It doesn't mean that I don't have other products that I would love to venture into. But, it's a thing of passion for me now, because I like the fact that I'm able to solve problems, right? And while I was in China, I saw other products I could bring in that could also solve problems. But I made up my mind that it is packaging or nothing. Even if it's going to be a different product, it's still going to be centered around what I already do. I don't know, maybe in a few years to come, something.
You've continuously evolved, so there's always
something else can come up. But no, it's not all about going to China and then the first thing you're thinking about is, this is cheap, let me buy. This is cheap, let me buy. You have to.
Was cheap and just it's not looking.
Of course, I saw a lot of cheap items, but that was not the focus. The focus was how to grow this particular business that I was
and continue to build your brand in it, so that people know. Immediately they're thinking about packaging items. You're thinking, wow, packaging items. Wow, is that synonyms? So that I think that's amazing. You're planning another China trip.
Yeah.
Why?
This business has taught me a lot. I keep learning and learning, unlearning, relearning, everything. And so recently I had an issue with one of the products that I sell. So I think that maybe the company had an error in their production or something. So, and that is currently affecting, one of my printing jobs. So I decided to okay, I need to go and see what exactly is going on. And because we've been having a conversation over the phone, but you're not getting what I want. So this is me going again for more sourcing, get more clarity about my products, and look into machines as well, because we already do printing. So it just makes sense for us to see how we can upscale.
And that's like the next step. That's the next step for you, because now I've gotten a packaging material. I probably need the branding and the printing on top of it too. What are your plans for the next 5 years?
Firstly, having moving stores, 4 stores in the space of 6 years, I think it's time I start looking into having our own building. Where we have, the Wawo Hub.
The actual hub.
Exactly.
You put that name there since.
Yes, we started off as Wawo Collections.
Yeah.
So when I started looking at the bigger picture, I was like, no, this collection is
the hub. I'm going.
Is that hub gone?
So you're already prophesying in the
exactly.
name. That's amazing.
So having our own hub where, when you walk in, you have all your branding needs.
It's like a mini China.
Exactly. Don't have to stress. Just come
in
and
we'll help you.
Then we also have plans of expanding to other cities, both within Lagos and outside Lagos, because we noticed that a lot of our bulk customers are not even in Lagos. So, and sometimes they complain of transport, the hike in price and everything. So I'm already thinking how to bring the markets
to them,
closer to them. So
amazing. Since I visited you in 2022, it meant, when did you join Bumper?
2021.
2021.
Yeah, I think late 2021 to 2022.
Now, you're a small business owner at the time. You're running your business yourself. Why did you choose to use Bumper?
Okay, so at the time I was still running my 9 to 5. So, and I didn't have a staff, I didn't have nobody. And of course, I was still at the building stage, so I couldn't get a staff because I was still building the business. There was no money to start paying, extra staff. Yeah. So I needed a balance. So I actually paid someone to build a website for me at the time. But the guy just kept dragging. Months after, I think I paid about 300,000 then or so. So, he just kept dragging the whole website building thing. Today, he's asking for extra money for one. I think, is it pop-up or something? I don't even know what it was calling. Plugin. God bless you. We just say, if you need this feature, we have to buy this plugin.
Yeah.
Okay, let me even just see the interface. Let's even see how it looks like before we start adding extra features, And then he was trying to show me over a video call. And I realized I was filling up to like 3 pages before I could finish uploading one product.
Anyway.
And I'm like, I don't understand. This is not going to work. And then I have to even sit down with my laptop to do it. It's not even something I could do on my phone. So I was like, no, I'm not sure I want to do this. So one day I was just going through Instagram and I saw the Bumper ad. And I saw the ad bar. They were like, you're just going to download an app on your phone and then you could upload your products even while you're in bed. And this one is make life easy now. Which one is all the stress? I just downloaded out of curiosity. Like, let me even see.
By your inquisitive nature.
So I was like, let me just see how it works. And then I downloaded it and I uploaded the first picture. I think it was less than a minute safe. And I'm like, so if this one is there, why am I stressing? And then because I needed to be able to take orders even while I'm not at the store, because while I took that store, I was not always there 24/7 because I go to work as well. So I was running it online basically. So that was how I downloaded the Bumper app and I started using it because I just needed that balance so that I don't get to lose customers while I'm at work and I'm not able to respond to an inquiry.
You needed a website. Yeah. You had even looked for another opportunity. What happened to your money? Did you collect it back?
Nibo. I would say Bumper is one of the best things that has happened to my business, to be honest. Yeah. And this is not hype. This is me being real, to be honest, because it actually made my life easier, uploading the products to taking orders, everything just felt seamless. And one thing about me is I'm a very loyal person. I value relationship a lot, and I like when, I ask questions, I get answers. It's not that I have to start dragging anybody to get value for what I pay for. And that is one thing Bumper has done for me, because while I started with Bumper, there was a support group. There were people ready to have questions. If you have any issues, there were people present to solve them for you. And that was like the highlight for me, because I remembered my website guy then. There are times I would send him a message and he's not even online for like a day or two. And I'm just frustrated, like, what's going on? But I didn't have that experience with Bumper. And, as more features kept rolling in from Bumper, it just made everything better. We were able to see our analytics. I think we started off without the inventory thing and variation. That was not really, it was not there. So you had to put all your sizes.
This is the Bumper OG.
Yeah.
You saw Bumper.
OG before IG.
When Bumper was still in the skeletal phase now.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the consistency in making it better was everything. You guys were always listening to suggestions from your consumers, and you were working actively to ensure that the app, gets better. And that was the sellout for me. Loyalist to the core.
Give me 5. Okay. What is like your top 3 features on Bumper?
Top three. Okay. I like the payment feature, because while I started having staff, they were always calling me, Ma, have you gotten this? Ma, have you gotten that? Sometimes I'm like, you guys should not call me today. I'm going out. I don't want to. But no, I'll still receive that call. Man,
Because
somebody
they
just
have to
paid
confirm
this.
the payment.
That frustrated me a lot. But you know, with the bumper payment feature, now I don't have to confirm anything.
You just
I just
add
tell
them on
them,
the WhatsApp.
just add them on the WhatsApp, and they get the notification. So they don't have to even call me for any confirmation. Then, and I like the analytics feature, because for like 3 years I've been very consistent with gifting my top 5 customers, and I'm sure if Bumper is not taking that record for me, I'm not sure I'll be able to figure it out. So that feature has really helped me, and because these customers are always coming back, they've also been consistent with Wawo Hub since they started, and I'm sure it's one of the reasons, because I believe everyone loves to be appreciated, right? So Bumper has helped me with that through the analytics. Of course, I could see other, you know, report like the product sales and all of that. I like that feature a lot too. And the third one, which one is the third one? There are a lot of it though, but I'm trying to pick like
It's tough
the
to
most. Okay, I think I like the staff feature too, because before now it was just me having an access to it, but now, you know, my staffs could confirm others. And I like the fact that it is not, all features are not open to staffs. You know, you could easily select what you want them to see and not to see. So I think those are like my top 3.
Awesome. You know, the interesting thing is that, see the analytics. If you see what you're building with analytics.
Are you serious?
If you see what is coming out.
I can't wait.
You see what is coming. It's crazy. You know, we're making it a lot more detailed. Like you'll be able to understand things that you've not even thought about, right?
Please
You can
do,
download reports on everything.
Wow.
Inventory reports, changes here, you know. I don't know if you've seen the product history and order history.
Yes.
Where you can track everything happening in your invention. You know, more is coming on the analytics.
We can't wait.
You know, I'm excited about, you know, where Wawo is going to be in the next 3-5 years. Bumper is here to support you.
Thank you.
People may not know this, but Bumper is here for business owners. We are here to support you because we believe that, see, when they talk about economy, I can say Nigerian economy, what exactly is the economy? See, the business owners, the people that are running businesses, carry the economy in their back. Sometimes I'm like, it's your back, no, they pay you. They carry Nigerian economy.
You know, it's you, I like.
And, you know, the fact that you're able to bring things, sell, you know, create opportunities. Now you're renting. Do you know how many indirect jobs you create? Because you say, oh, before you had 0 staff, now you have 4.
Yeah.
That's direct jobs. Do you know how many indirect jobs you've created?
Yeah.
Because now, all the shelves, you probably got someone to do it.
Yeah.
You painted here.
Yes, I did electrical
all the things
works.
You're creating jobs. And that there is how the economy functions.
Yeah,
and that's why, you know, I salute you and I salute every business owner out there, you know,
Thank you so
trying
much.
every single day, you know, despite all of the challenges, despite, I don't even know how you dealt with the whole USD,
Hey.
forex change.
That was crazy, man.
That was
And we are
crazy.
still facing it,
You're
to be
still
honest.
facing it.
Yeah, increase
Especially because you're dealing with
rates.
imports.
Yeah.
Shipping rates, custom. We'll probably start something that, you know, we need business owners to come and tell other business owners, you know, how things are, you know, how things are going, and, you know, basically show them the ropes. You know. There's a lot that people need to know about, you know, running a business. So,
Okay.
are you ready?
Okay, let's have it.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Why?
Instagram is easy. TikTok, I can't deal with the drama.
Retail or wholesale?
Wholesale.
Wholesale. Why?
That's where the money is.
Selling online or physical?
Online people have money.
I have business owner that will be like, no, see, I need to have a store. You know, that's where the money is. But you are saying the money is online.
For me, I don't know about that.
Okay, that's good. Shipping by sea or shipping through air?
Shipping by sea.
Why?
Shipping by sea is not as expensive as shipping by air, because that works with volume, but for air it works with weight. And considering what I sell, I jumped and said, I needed this thing fast, and I tried air shipping. And when I got the bill, I almost fainted. And guess what? I didn't even pick up the item eventually because I just couldn't pay for it. I just left it.
So the
It's
product
like times
was
3
money.
of the cost price. So there was no
Jesus.
point. This month is actually our anniversary. We'll be 6
Ooh.
years on the 27th of this month.
Woo!
So I was considering maybe we'll just do an online sales.
Done online
instead
sales.
of-
How do you run sales online?
Most of the time, I make my sales strictly websites because it's stress-free, of course. Nobody will have to start chatting in and out. I just set my time on the Bumper app. I set time, I set dates, and sometimes I try the discount code feature. And I give them a code and like just put this at the checkout. But I noticed that most times people don't use it. They don't even remember when it's time for sales, you know. So I just go with the discount feature straight up.
Interestingly, we just revamped that sales page.
Really?
If you go to sales and marketing, you will see that button. You see sales.
Okay.
When you open it, there's now a new way to run sales.
Okay.
And how it works is that you can now set up your sales period. So for instance, because you're doing anniversary sales, you set it to anniversary sales.
Okay.
And you set that period. You set the start, you set the end. Then you can now put multiple sales discounts inside of that. Maybe you're doing discounts for some products, you have coupons, but everything is going to happen within that
time period.
Do you know that at the end of that sales, we send you a report?
Wow.
We send you a report of the sales, just the sales. I know there's normal report of your
normal
business,
monthly report.
but the report on the sales, this thing, so that you can see how did the sales do. You know, you can see when was the most time, the best time people were buying from you for that sales period. Like we could give you a lot more details than the normal analytics. You should try it out. You should check it out. Try it for this anniversary and let me know what you think.
All right, I'll do that.
And then there are other things now for sales, right? Because normally there's just discounts and coupons, right?
Yes.
There's deals. So you can have things like deal of the day, deal of the week. So if you come into the go to your website, you can see the deal for the day, and it changes per day. You could have countdown. So for instance, you could set a countdown now that people can see that the sales is going to happen by this time. Okay. So there's countdown sales now. There are other things. It's not part of that, but like gift cards.
Yes, I saw the gift card. Yes, I saw some add-ons. I think I tried the add-on feature.
Yeah. That's great. Actually, it works for what you're selling.
Yes. Because when we for the nylons, we put the add-ons for the printing, so that in case you want to print, you can just.
So you just add it as you're picking the product. Just add it. That's how add-on works. You pick a product, you can now add on other things in it. Some people that sell hair, they can just add oil,
like
comb,
oil,
all of the things that you need to prepare to maintain the hair can now be as add-ons, just so to upsell. Also, some people may not be able to go and find those things by themselves.
I noticed that because when customers try to shop on the website, they always come back to WhatsApp to say, I don't know where I'm going to put my printing details, and also that was why I went for the add-on feature. Amazing.
This is your inquisitive nature. Is very important. I have some bumper business owners that are not very inquisitive. You need to go and explore the
and dig deep.
Dig deep. Go and figure it out. There's a lot of things that we have built. And we just want businesses to thrive. And we're so excited to see that you're thriving and a lot more businesses are thriving. And we hope that things just continue to get better and better. Amen. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for
shout coming. Out to Ola and the camera. Shout out to Dami. Shout out to Dre. And shout out to your team. Thank you so much for having us. Well done. This woman here is amazing. I don't know if you know this. There's so much to learn from her. Obviously, everybody needs to just give their 100%. Anywhere you find yourself, you need to give your 100%. Bring in ideas, bring in thoughts, ensure that the business grows, because one day, you will also be thinking about your own business. It's all of the skills that you learn here that would help you in your own too. So thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. OG before IG. OG before
Where's
IG.
my award? OG before IG award.
Dami.
I should do like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dami, just...